Here we go, the long-awaited TSB or the shitbot video. This is Matt from support from Polar Chefs. Going to walk you through, my secrets to success here. There's some things I'm not going to go through that I think you pretty much already have. The settings page. Obviously, there's your license, your success hook, and all that stuff. So just make sure that your default region is always US. And I'll explain why 5, 6, 7 harvesters is kind of the number. It'll give you like all your cops and calendars and stuff, but proxy counts. I mean, this stuff is pretty basic. Just load your profiles in. You could put your profiles in. It's pretty easy to do. I'll actually upload those in a second. But I wanted to show you this real quick because getting your accounts to Gucci is really the hardest part. It's the part that's most time consuming. I'm going to show you maybe. I really wanted to skip this part because God knows how long it could take, and I don't want to sit here with dead air. But ideally, you just put the new account in and you assign it a proxy. So your proxy lists are going to be here. The default when you insert the account in, you'll see that it'll say proxy, it'll say local. So don't get them to Gucci when they're local. When they're green, that means they're Gucci. That means they're good to go. And then after that, what you have to do is you have to bind profiles. So when you're going to bind your profiles here, you just want to make sure that you're going to. Oops, it's accounts. When you put them in, these are already going to be fine, but your accounts, the first thing you have to do once you get them all green, and understand that there's going to be a couple different things that you're going to see. You're going to see error messages, you're going to see handling cookies, you're going to see, just blocked, whatever it is. One of the things that you can do is you can highlight the one that you want. You can hit set proxy, right? And then you can just hit start again and then just kind of let it go through. And then you can see it'll pick a different proxy and then it'll go back to Gucci. These just happen to be ISPs for right now, but this bot, to be truthful, me personally, I run it on Resi. That's just the way that I like it. I don't know why. It just seems to work better for me. I don't think that you need to run this bot because it's a request-based bot. I don't think you need to run it on ISPs, although you can. I just choose to do it this way. Anything that you do on this page regarding to accounts, everything that you run is going to run off of this IP. So know that you can't get everything to Gucci and ISP because it's better, and then switch off to Resi later by switching these, proxies. It's the cookie that's generated to bypass the Nike API is generated at the time that this is done. So you're going to forfeit that cookie. So don't do that. So now that your profiles are here, you're just going to hit bind. And then what's going to happen is it's going to take the first 4 profiles and it's going to put these little shit symbols next to it. That means this is good poop, good shit is what they're trying to say. The point of this here now is that now when you go into the profile section, you're going to be able to see what's bound and what's not bound. But really what I want you to notice here is see how these scores are 100? This is good. This is what you want to see. It means your jig is good. See these 95s, 97s, 100s. Anything over, 80, I think, will get delivered. Anything less than 80, you need to rejig, whether you do it on a spreadsheet and put it in or whether you don't, kind of whatever that looks like. So now when you look at your accounts, you got all Gucci, you got all poops. Here's the biggest step that everybody misses. This is where the rubber really meets the road. You have to fill these accounts. These accounts are right now, for all intents and purposes, they have people's information because I ran this morning, but ideally if these are new accounts, these would be blank. So you have to run filler tasks. So you go into task, you're going to go up here in the new task, you're going to select your Nike region, which is going to be US, and then your request mode right here is going to be filler mode. In filler mode, be sure it's capital RA, please don't mess that up. You select your accounts, and then you hit create, right? But now watch, what happens when you start all is now it's taking all the information from your profiles, and it's putting it into, it's actually logging into the account, and it's putting everything in there. And so now you got all these little poops. And so now when you think about this, what you have is you have all your accounts are good to go, all your cookies, your bypass cookies. They're little shit things here mean that they're bound with the right profiles. And it also means that now your task, that means that your account now has the information from your profiles. So now you're ready to run. If you skip this step, it will cost you time because now you're having to input that information at checkout time. If it's a 10-minute draw, it might not kill you there, but ideally Nike lately the site has been getting hammered with entries, so you're just going to want to get your entries in as fast as you can and having your information. I want to use the word preloaded into your profile. That's going to kind of be the key because the less the bot has to do to get the entry in, the more entries you're going to get in. The more entries you get in, the more shoes you're going to cop. So like when you go to all these cops, like this is how we were able to do this, is because we got all these entries in, right? So you really want to make sure that you run this. And so now that your filler tasks are done, you just delete them. Delete these tasks, because now they're good. And so now you want to run a new task. Okay, so now let's run a new task. So very simple, US, whatever your style code is here, DDR, usually 503, and then dash 101, something stupid like that. And you hit RA, oop, and capital, or whatever sizes you want to run. If it's a woman size or GS size, it doesn't matter. So 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5. But I don't want to run 7s or 7.5. I just want to run 8s, halves, and then 9s. That's all I want to run. You could do it that way too. You select all your accounts, and then now you have to always do request mode, and then you can choose Nike or sneakers. Flow doesn't matter. This stuff here I haven't seen make a difference. Pre-submit, I don't know what that button does. They haven't given us a bunch of information on it. They say do it for 10% of your task, but I'm running like 700 accounts here, so for me personally, running ACO just doesn't make any sense, but for somebody else it might. So you're just going to hit create task. Obviously it's a fake SKU, so we'll see what happens, but now it's going to go in, it's merging my visitor ID. Now it's going to go to work. Ideally, this would go to timer. This would, do a lot of things that were different if this were all real, but it's all fake. So I'm going to stop it. Anyway, real quick, a couple things about this. You see that I only loaded up, 5 accounts, right? But I have in here, I think I have like 400 profiles. Yeah, 403. So here's the deal when it comes to TSB. Here's what a lot of people don't know. If you have 400 profiles in here and you have 700 accounts, it's going to loop and dupe. That means that if you have more accounts than profiles, it's going to take the first 400 and you're going to go 1-to-1. And then the remaining other extra 300 accounts that you have more than profiles, it's going to fill those profiles with the 300 again. So just be aware that that happens. Now, the one thing that really sucks about this bot that I really dislike is that, let's just say that I had 700 accounts in here. Let's just put them all in for a second. So let's just say that we had all these are accounts. I think I have like a gajillion accounts. Yeah, okay, so here's like 400 accounts. So if I wanted to create a task, right, and I wanted it to be just for one person, so I have like, I don't know, 15 different people loaded in here. So for ACO, it is a nightmare. But I'll show you anyway, because you should see it, because if you only want to run certain cards like privacy versus slash, or slash versus some type of ENO, or something, whatever, DDR 503-111. I don't even know if that's a real thing, by the way. And then let's just say we hit select all accounts. And then it's going to go to sneakers for request mode. So let's just say, though, that I only wanted to run one person. Let's just say that I only wanted to run Ryan, right? So that means I got to take all these profiles that are above him, and I got to hit delete selected, right? And then I have to take all the profiles that are below it, right? I have to hit delete selected. And so now I'm stuck with, kind of whatever's left in the middle, right? No big deal. Well, that's Ryan. Well, that's fine if you group your profiles all together, but if you don't group your profiles together, A, you're screwed. That's not going to be fun. And then B, the other killer is that if you are like in the middle of a shock drop and then you have to delete all those other accounts, it can be just kind of a nightmare. There's no profile groups. There's really no easy way to say this. It's done well, the bot to run, but this part of it is meant to be like a personal bot. So it's great if you're going to do it that way, but I would watch out if you're going to use this bot to run ACO. But let me show you a couple error things. So these are some accounts. So let me just show you some accounts. I'll try and start like, let's say 20. I'll show you what this looks like. So this is all going to start, fetching IPs. This is all, very normal. Again, you can see here, this is all like Resi. I think at the moment it's like Lumi, I think, and Oxy. So these are all saving my sessions from earlier. So these are all Gucci. You're going to see these are all good, right? So handling proxies, handling browser cookies. This is what I want to show you. Handling browser cookies. So what this means is that the bot is using the site to gather cookies to do what it needs to do. And you can always tell this by always looking at the task manager, and you can see that I'm only using 11% of my CPU, which is fine. And I'm running Prism and such and Velox in the background. Yeah, and it's only using 2% of my CPU. But if I go into settings, I think 25 is like the max here. 25. Now you're opening all these other harvesters. And so now all of a sudden you start to watch your CPU and you start to watch all these other harvesters start to open up. It'll put a lot of damage on your CPU. Watch. Right? And these haven't really even moved. And so it's like you just want them to get there, and you don't need them to have these, like, all these harvesters open. You can still see it made no impact on it. But look at my server, right? 12, 13, 14, 15%. So here's how I solve this problem. So I go from 25, I leave this at like 5 to 7. So let's just say 7 for whatever reason. And then see these handling browsers, I just grab it, I hit set proxy, I give it a new proxy, I stop the task, and then I start it. And then watch what happens. Usually, see, look, it goes right to Gucci. So kind of that you don't need to like don't go crazy like killing yourself trying to get these things and like staring at them and like open up all these harvesters. Just stop them and start them, give them a new proxy. You know, maybe that IP was bad, maybe it was slow. Like we don't know, right? It's all random. I think 1,500 in here. Like I don't know every single one of them by heart. You're like, okay, well this is like stuck. Okay, we'll stop it and start it. Like, don't be afraid to mess with the bot. Like, and there we go, saving session safe. We Gucci. So then if this were a real drop, then I would take this, I would grab these, and I would hit bind profiles. So now we're going to bind all these profiles to get them good, right? Now, if it's not good, if you try to bind profiles and they're not good, it's going to say this. It's going to say account has to be, well, these are all old profiles. So I ran this morning. So normally what it would say is like this thing, it'll be big, it'll be red. It'll say this account has to be Gucci first, which means you have to get them to this status first. So you start selecting. You have to get them to green without the poop. See, look here, handling browser history. We can just hit the highlight it, give it a new proxy, stop it, and then restart it. You know, pretty easy, pretty simple. See, it's going to say renewed fetching session, handling browser cookies. Okay, that didn't work, so let's try it again. And you don't have to keep jacking with it. Eventually, it will go. I just doing this for purposes of video is for ways for you to, you know, get going. But what I do want to show you is that, look, not only did it get to Gucci saving session, but see how like there's no little poop next to it? See, there's no little poop, so you have to highlight it, and then you have to bind your profile all over again. So now we're good to go. That you have to have all your poops. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's incorrect password. Anyway, you have to have these poops. So bind your profiles. Don't forget to bind your profiles. So these were all bound, right? These are all good to go. So here's another thing that kind of gets stuck. So it's Gucci. We got all these poops, right? So we got 50 Gucci poops. So if we go back into our task mode, right? And it's like, well, I only want to fill the next, you know, the first 50. Again, it's kind of the same issue with this thing, man. It's just like, you got to be smart about it, right? You got to know that you only got 50 accounts to Gucci. So you have to select all your accounts, and then you're going to go select all your accounts and hit create because it's in filler mode. But I only got the first 50 to Gucci, so I'm going to go here to 51. I'm going to scroll all the way down to 400, and I'm going to hit delete selected because those other ones aren't Gucci, and they're not binded to any profiles. And then now I'm going to hit start. And so now these are going to go, and these are going to get all to, you know, pooped or whatever it is. And now what it's doing is that it's putting all the profile information into the profile in Nike in the account. And so now when I run my task, my credit card number is there, my address is there, my jigged address, you know, whatever that looks like. So then when you go to the profiles, again, or the profile section, you can see hundreds. Look all the way down. You know, it's probably the same person. Look, 85s, 84s, 100s, 95s, 76. That one's kind of iffy, right? And then some of these you can auto fix, right? Auto fix selected. I don't know, man. I don't mess with all these because my jigs are good, but you know, feel free to mess with it. You know, validate selected. I don't know. Validate them, don't validate them. It doesn't matter. I don't even know what those buttons do. This is what I care about. Handling browser cookies. Here we go. This doesn't work. Stop it and start it. Okay. So these are all going to get passed. This is actually perfectly fine. So let's just say that this doesn't work. So this thing is stuck at handling browser cookies. So it says Ashley Andy 21. So we're going to go here and we're going to go to Ashley Andy 21. And so we're just going to give it a new proxy. So we're going to hit set proxy. We're going to stop it. We're going to start it again. Right? We're going to get it to Gucci again. Right? So now we're Gucci. And so now we go back here to the task. See where it said error? Now that we're re-Gucci on a new proxy. And see, look, this is error generating, now fetching session, handling browser cookies. So if that didn't work, do it again. You know, get this thing. You got to get on the Gucci. See, look, it's just renewed. You're good to go. So if that doesn't work, this is, oh, that's Alberto White. This is Ashley. Sorry. There's Ashley. See, saving session saved. So let's try Alberto now because I already messed with it. So Alberto. So let's see. So here he is up top. So let's give him a new proxy. Stop it. Right. Start it. It's going to go to Gucci again. See, there it is. Handling browser cookies. Okay, so let's just say that, so that's a Resi. So let's just say that we want to put it on a, IP, ISP. So new proxy set. See, session saved. Now we're good to go. We're Gucci. So that was Alberto White. So here we are up top, Alberto White, right? We're going to hit stop. We're going to hit start. Saving session. Session saved. See, we're Gucci. So you have to handle the problems. Handling browser cookies are fine. Handling browser cookies, I usually just solve by giving a new proxy. So I overgen. I don't mix and match IPs, ISPs, and Resis. I just happen to do that for purposes of the video. I run Resis in this bot. It doesn't burn a lot, but I have a couple instances, so I say that because I burn a lot, but it's because I'm running so many. So I think you guys get the idea of how it's going to work. You don't need a lot to do with it. It's a really good deal. So I hope that was informative. Ping me a chat if you need anything, and if not, good luck out there.